plus Rickware Racing Ford heads into round number 2. Josh Hart was off the starting line first by 2,000ths of a second. They got to 300 feet, both of them had to pedal.
I think they both looked over and tried to figure it out as they both let go at about the same time, played just a little bit earlier. Their record up to this point was 6-5, now 7-5, Clay Milliken. Milliken into round number 2, down to Joe.
Here with Jim Overhopper, truly a team sport. Driver helping with the pedal. Very challenging out there. What did you do to turn on that run line?
Well, we had Clay Milliken in the season. He stomps on that last pedal, got off it, stomps back on, and that's what happened. And, you know, right now this track, it looks ugly, but it's really not. It's just, you know, you come up here with all the stuff that's been going on, and you know, we just didn't have enough for it up there. It looks like it just flipped its rear end off, and that was that.
Thank you, Jimmo. How about that, Jason? He's cheap.
And maybe not all that surprising, Joe. We saw a little bit of that on Friday night as well. When the weather is this good here in Gainesville, and you have the air that you have, new look for the Direct Connection Dodge with Hopar team. They just signed a multi-year extension with Tony Stewart Racing and Nitro. New dad, Tony Stewart, 1-0 to kick off the season. Joe.
Yeah.
Out here with crew chief Neil Strasbaugh, you guys have tested so much, that wind light coming so hard. What is it going to take to turn on 3 more?
Well, we've been doing it wrong for a little while now, so it's nice to actually do something right. You know, conditions are a little tricky right now. Obviously, the weather we're dealing with, everybody's experiencing that, but the track, really a track's been working the butt off to keep it some good surface up here, but it worked out.
Wow. Of course, this car was well out of shape there, David. Look at the contrails on Tony Stewart's rear wing. Cool to see. That tells you there's a little bit of humidity in the air out here. Tony Stewart in round number 2 with our first pool of the year. And we're going to the top end of the racetrack for the first time and say good morning to George Vandergriff.
First round win for Clay Milliken, and it was in a pedal fest. Like, talk to us about when you initially lose traction, what goes through your mind?
I mean, the first thing you think of is don't over-rev, don't blow it up, and then see where your opponent is at. I mean, you know, obviously, it's a whole lot going on in a little bit of time, and I'm not really smart enough to absorb all that, but I do my dangest to figure it out. But Rickware Racing gives us a good race car, all the parts needed, parts plus. Man, everybody, we got Kings built on this weekend. But more than anything, it was the first round win of the season, and that's a great way to start the year.
All right. And the Kalitta Motorsports team moves into round number 2. 5:02 beats a 5:68. Justin Ashley was 40 on the tree. Both the cars went up in smoke. They were both slapping the throttle, and Sean drove around them, David.
We're going to go to the replay now and see how that looks.
Well, you called this one to a T. It's Justin Ashley off the line first by 22 thousandths of a second. Almost identical into weak shape. And look at the cylinders out on Justin's machine. That ends up being the difference. Sean pedaled it and was able to keep it lit.
Yeah, Ashley just kept getting back into it. He only had one bank of engine cylinders under power, and Sean was able to make it down.
Joe.
Yeah, we're down here with Brian.
And Krista Baldwin. And oh, look.
Krista Baldwin
Another lane
coming
swap.
up.
Another lane swap.
Antron Brown.
Now, I'm not really sure what Brian Karate saw in that
Didn't see
one.
the interview I got with
Back to the
Krista.
left lane because both cars drove into effectively weak shape there. The difference between weak shape and overpowering the track, David, visible to the race fans, right? When a top fuel car or funny car leaves the starting line and you immediately see it run up on the tire and blow smoke in the air, that's blowing the tires out. That's smoking the tires. That's too much power, too much clutch too early. Weak shape is when they can't generate enough wheel speed to get those good gears to start to grow. You've got to get these tires to grow. We all know, we've all seen the slow-mo, how much a tire grows in the top fuel machine. And if you can't get enough power in early enough, you don't have enough on the primary clutch, don't have enough supercharger, you don't have enough wheel speed on those cars, the tire will start to wobble. You can see it on the slow motion replays, and that's shape. There's a difference. Hey, she has been.
Yeah, Krista. Yeah.
Going to get there first, 466, 253. Antron was off the line first. I'll tell you what, Krista Baldwin did a nice job. She was 88 on the tree. That's her first real shot at a pedal fest here in a top fuel dragster. And unfortunately, Antron just had a little bit more when he rolled back into the throttle. The Matco team, the world champions, head to round number 2. We head to Joe Show.
Down here with Brian Karate. Brian, lane swap right before the run. We've seen a lot of pedal fests out there. What's going on the track?
This is my personal thoughts on this whole thing. Is that this could have been avoided by starting on this thing and dragging it earlier and putting down some rubber because they know how to do it. So I don't know what you want to call it, but I have an answer.
Whoa.
All right. And I appreciate Ryan Karate's candidness. Another look. And look at that. Antron's able to roll into the throttle more. You can see the injector blades, David. By about half track, Antron has rolled back into it and had them wide open and just legged it to the finish line.
Yeah, that's where the experience counts.
Doug Kalitta and Ida Zetterstrom will be the next pair. Jordan Vandergrift's up next.
Been a pedal fest here in Gainesville so far, and Sean Langdon just won one, but Justin actually got out in front of you. What's it like to chase somebody down like that?
Well, it's not ideal. Ideally, you don't understand, but yeah, I mean, that was wild. We did the lane swap at the last second, and then doing the burnout, backing up, and saw the rubber peeling up, so obviously that's in the back of your mind, but yeah, Justin did a good job, had a great ride, I was a little behind him. And then went up with smoke, and I pedaled a couple times, got to recover. He's driving away from me, about to come in my head, I'm going to shut it off and try to save the parts. I saw him get in trouble. Of course, at that point it wasn't listening, but got the round in, that's all that matters, and we'll get it fixed for the next round.
Sean Langdon will race Tony Stewart in round number 2, and Smoke's the only car that's not need to be. We'll have lane choice there. Clay Milliken is going to pick his lane against Antron. beating one up down there.
Wow.
57.5 and 193 miles per hour. He was off the starting line first. Ida Zetterstrom, that might be your first example, David, of somebody who went too far the other direction as we look again. Doug is 832 to 60 feet. Look at Ida's car just right up on the tire. You see the tire grow. Doug gets out there a little bit farther before he starts to take the tire off on that Mac Tools machine. And Ida at this point is just watching Doug going, please, let the blower valve fall off, something. You see Ida's car, again, the butterflies don't open, which makes you wonder, these cars have those automatic shutoffs on them, David, they sense something.
She did smack it twice. She obliterated the tires right out of the hole. You saw them grow. She was off it, back on it, and then it was game over.
Now, these cars have an automatic throttle disconnect on them. They can be activated a couple of different ways, right? The crew chief holds the box on the starting line. They can press a button to disconnect the throttle. Also, there are sensors on these race cars. You would expect to see the gravity on the car just left. And it was, but they got it fixed overnight with the assistance of the NHRA technical and other organizations. So that first race through has been all my long. Now they got it wrong. Dan Mercier's got the win, 416.
Damn.
Tatum's car. The throttle is still hung open out there.
Holy cow.
He's got it shut off now. The safety safari is going to roll. Chip's car shook the tire as he went to pedal it, made a move to the left, slapped the wall with the left rear tire. The tire came apart and came back across into the right side wall. So the safety safari is on the scene down track, and Trip Tatum has already climbed up out of that race car. He's standing up in the car right now, evaluating the damage. The safety safari is rolling here in round number 1 of elimination. Dan Mercier goes 416. He'll move into round number 2. Trip Tatum's team will leave the Gatornationals with a wrecked race car and a wealth of disappointment. There's Trip up against the wall, talking to the safety safari. It looks like Doc Surface is there as well. Doc Phil Surface with the NHRA. Here's another look. You're going to see these cars both go into shape. And look at Trip. When he gets back into it, it just over-rotates and slaps the wall. And here is where the real ride begins. You see the left rear tire come apart. And at this point, Trip has no control. You see him cranking the wheels. The car into the wall. The fluid you see coming out of the front there, David, that is the fuel tank. The fuel sits on the front of these machines, the nitro coming out of that, and then the car just sliding in. You can see the motor still running, frankly, because nothing just hit the engine. So at this point, it's still getting fuel. It's being pumped through. It's probably hydraulicing at this point, and then you can see it backfire finally, and the motor stops running. That is a heartbreaking way for Trip Tatum's.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have served our great nation, we ask you to please rise and be recognized. Firefighters, paramedics, first responders, active duty military, and veterans, please rise and be recognized. We thank you for your support of our great nation, and as a small token of our appreciation, once again, we'd like to offer you this challenge coin. After this round at the NHRA stage, new location for 2025, the NHRA stage, if you have
track cleanup will be back.
Come over here, gentlemen.